everyone, I am the Roaring Rar and welcome to the first video of 2021, and it's a very special video because this is my very first ever university blog. I have started university for 2021 and I'm very excited about it, and it's quite an unusual course by most parts. Not very many people are going to be able to say that they have a master's degree in comics and graphic novels, but that is what I'm going to do this year. So part of the course is blogging what you're doing as part of your production. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share it with all of you as well. My process through going through the projects, what I'm doing, and any hiccups that happen along the way, all that kind of nonsense. You know, a blog. So enjoy yourselves, and I'll be sure to commentate on little parts as I go along. Enjoy! So first off, we have the idea sketchbook, and you'll see later on in the video why this is a complete mess and covered in scratchy bits of paint, but it'll be part of the aesthetic. I've yet to give the sketchbook a proper cover, but I will do that later on. I'll maybe make another video about decorating this, but at the moment we'll just go through the sketchbook so far. So before you kind of start any main project, it is always good to have ideas out. You can do a digital sketchbook as well, but I gain more by doing a practical one. It sort of helps clear any of the fog in my brain. So I had a whole bunch of ideas because this course was meant to originally start way back in April and it got delayed. So I've had time to think of ideas. So I haven't actually looked at this page in quite a wee while, so let's see what's going on here. Try and not block any of the light. So I think I had a bunch of ideas that I'd gathered from stories that I'd either kept on the board for a while, you know, stories I'd thought of and just hadn't had a place to put them yet. Mixtures of prompts that I found on Tumblr. Oh, bless you, Chaos. Sorry, cat was sneezing behind me. This is what I would like to do for a webcomic, The Marvellous Mishaps of Chaos and Mayhem, because it's just my cats, and everybody loves a cat webcomic, so why not? But I wanted to make it about physics and science, and all that kind of thing, but have it in the form of cats. The problem is though, I don't know any physics. It'd be something my dad could write. My dad's amazing at physics. He loves physics. I've never taken the time to understand it properly. I love listening to it. I love listening to physics YouTubers, but it does go over my head quite a lot. What else does I have here? Okay, so I remember watching a video telling you how to come up with ideas ages ago, and one of them, and one of the main points it does mention is public domain stories. So I thought it might be fun to do maybe a darker version of Wizard of Oz, because there's a couple of Wizard of Oz comics that I do quite like. The Raven's one of my favourite Edgar Allan Poe poems. I thought maybe that would be a fun one to do. I think these are a bit more kind of manga inspired. Board game battles, card game battles. Person discovers they can control people with their game controller. A person can't stop seeing video game graphics in real life. A visual novel starts talking to the player. Okay, so there's a handful of wee ideas there. But I do know that most of these... God, that cat is sneezing something fierce. But I do know that most of these, I didn't have an A to B story that I really wanted, or any public domain ones, that there was nothing that was entirely gripping my imagination. So where did I go from there? Okay, I'm definitely going to have to do... Oh no, here we go. There was a wee missing page there. So I think I had some other ideas. Oh yeah, this was going to be a whole page dedicated to fairy stories, because I've gotten into fairy lore recently. Because there's a lot of rules and all sorts of stories from different regions that explain fairy lore. So I kind of want to do something about that, and then I think it was leading on to talking trees. So I wanted ones of people looking like trees. What's this one? A woman found embedded in a tree. The trees won't stop growing. The trees start eating people. Okay, so I had an idea for a horror story there, but clearly, I think I tried drawing people with trees. It was proven to be a little bit difficult. This is the big creepy mouth trees from Breath of the Wild. I think this was just one I found on Google. Again, nothing was gripping me. I like the ideas, but I didn't like the full story so far. And then I've been getting into graffiti art that I see on Pinterest. I'll have to actually mark that down because that's something you really need to remember to do. You need to write down and annotate where your ideas are coming from and where what led up to them, which is difficult to do sometimes. And I forget to do it all the time. Like, I forget where my original idea came from. I just know that I'm on the idea. So this is what I've been doing. I was playing about with some graffiti art ideas. I thought it would be fun to like have rival graffiti artists trying to compete with each other. So that would be a good comment for doing locations. Like, I could do loads of locations about Glasgow or Edinburgh. Could do some really cool graphic art. But again, I had this issue of where I had a story, but the story wasn't fully there. I'm not a great writer, so but I know when the story isn't hitting correctly. So I kept going back over and over the story to try and fix it, and kept finding problems, and that's usually my sign of, okay, the story isn't good to begin with. If I keep having to go back and fix it, something's wrong with it altogether, and I kind of like abandoned the project for a little bit. But I would like to go back and fill in these pages with some nice graffiti arts. I went through a stage of using these little blank brown cards for doing a lot of artwork, as in some of my previous sketchbooks. I think I put these down so I could draw some graffiti art on them and see if try and give it like a bit of a brick texture, but clearly I've not done anything with that yet. I think I wanted to give the graffiti artist kind of cat-like poses whenever he was sitting. So I was trying to like mimic that. I was trying to like recreate cat poses through a person. So I was trying that out. So, but when I scrapped that whole idea, I then tried completely blanking my brain out and going back to something else. And this is something I'll need to put in the sketchbook. I'd recently been listening to the Professor Layton soundtrack, and it's very lovely and melodic. There's a lovely waltz theme from the third game that was absolutely beautiful to listen to, and that calmed my brain down. And then while that calmed my brain down, I was scrolling through Pinterest and found some lovely rabbit pictures. And then boom, idea has came to me. And I'm going to do a rabbit masquerade. I'm not going to tell the whole story right now, but that is the idea, the rabbit masquerade. So I started off by using the How to Think When You Draw books by Lorenzo, just to see how to draw rabbits, because of course there was how to draw rabbits in it. And it does give a very simple and easy to understand basic structure of how to draw a rabbit, which was quite handy. So I did write myself down a research list: Farthing Woods, Beatrix Potter, and Watership Down. And Watership Down I did watch a few days ago because I love the atmosphere that movie creates. You know, we're not talking about the recent 3D one. No. We're talking about the 1978 beautiful piece that scares children. That's the one we're talking about. Did I do anything else in this? Oh yeah, here we go. Some concept sketches. Some of these I'm quite fond of. These were just the raw ideas that were in my head. So just trying some things out. I was playing about with some random pens that I had. What else have I got in here? Is there much else? Oh yeah, I was doing a little concept page. Like, this was the main idea I've got going for it. So this was one of the pages I had in mind. That's one last one there. So I was trying out some character sketches. But yeah, so far that's the sketchbook. Those are the ideas. We'll have to tidy this up a little bit, make it prettier, and fill in the blanks that we haven't filled in yet. But yeah, there we go. That's the sketchbook, and now we will move on to some of the production art that I did. math. Could have put it away as I was going and I didn't. Well, look, it's a baby. Just focus on the cat. Focus on the cat. Yeah, look, focus on the cat. Don't focus on the mess. There's no mess. There's only cat. I do need to go and get all that tidied though. I need to go organise and put everything back so I can actually do work this week. But just focus on the baby. Hi, Mayhem. Hi, baby. Oh, it's a good boy. I did get some organising done. I got one of these like massive wall calendars so I can actually keep an eye on dates. Everything is like organised already, you know, like there's timetables online, everything's in PDFs, but for myself I kind of need a very visible visual thing to remind me of when things are due, because like I'll look at that and go know when everything's ready. I can mark down like how long I've got left, you know, kind of like an animation timetable where you really have to have like clear deadlines and mark everything down so everyone knows when certain parts of a project have to be done. So this is more for my sake. I need this. But however, I did do something a bit dumb. Because the weeks in university, you know, like the week where we start work, maybe like week 12 or something. For some reason I wrote week 17. I think it's because that's 18 and I did a dumb and wrote 17. So then I just kept going and just buggered it right up. And then for some reason, I went from like 51 and then that started off as 1 and then I had to stroke it all out and fix it. So I just had to get white labels and cover them all up. So I buggered that up something fierce, didn't I? Like a diddy does. But oh well. I've covered it up, I can fix it, I can get it all adjusted. But yeah, at least there's some organisation happening. So right now I'm just working on some storyboards for the comic idea that I have in mind for the Rabbit Masquerades. So at the moment I'm just experimenting with some of the background references that I've collected, putting together some expositional pages, creating atmosphere. So and that was entirely inspired by Watership Down, because so much of that movie is based on its atmosphere, how well it can convey peace, calm, the imminent threats around them, and so I wanted to create that feeling of tranquility at the start of this. So for the moment I'm just playing around with scenery, colour tones. I want to make sure everything has this lovely earthy, bright spring colour feeling in the beginning, and in these pages it's going to gradually work its way down to an evening glow. I did have a lot of fun making these. It was fun just sketching rabbits and playing around with them, seeing what they do. This page I quite liked a lot because it's based on the one I did in my sketchbook. I didn't realise until now the eye direction, how you're going to see that moon right there in the corner, the first thing you look at. So I was quite proud of that one. I love that sound effect panel, trying to really emphasise the fact that there's almost like a thunderous sound of feet running. Again, this was a fun one, just doing different shapes of rabbits running, combining them, try to find a nice wee balance for them all. These last two panels though were a bit tricky, because it's trying to show the rabbits running into the burrow. And I didn't want to show inside the burrow, I kind of do, but I didn't know how to quite do it correctly. I need to show the speed and the hurriness that all these rabbits are running away into the burrow for. So I want to go back to these last two panels and tweak them a little bit. So yeah, that's week 1 of university so far, guys. I hope you've enjoyed watching the progress so far. If you want to see more of the videos, please subscribe to the channel and keep an eye on my Twitter and Instagram for any updates. Feel free to comment on the video as well, so you can maybe give me some advice, or if you just want to see the process even further, you can ask about anything you want to see added into these videos at a later date. I'm looking forward to hearing more from you guys, and take care everyone. Bye.